I am wearing my Taylor Swift era shirt for this video in particular. You know why? Because we are doing a video today which is kind of different. It's an analysis video. I'm going to be doing an analysis of Taylor Swift's song from her folklore album called Tolerate It, because there's a theory that that song is written about Princess Diana and King/Prince Charles. I mean, by the day I'm filming this, he literally got coronated today. So, you know. But during this whole Diana thing, he was, of course, a prince back then. So I really don't know what to refer to him as. I'm just gonna say Charles and Diana, whichever makes it easier. So, lots of people do believe that her song Tolerated is like represents Princess Diana and Charles' story just so perfect to a T. Like so perfect to a T. And I know surprisingly not a lot about Diana and Charles' story, but I know more than I probably should, especially because I I don't know. I don't watch The Crown. I tried to, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. I really just couldn't. So I'm just gonna be doing a little analysis on her song Tolerate It. I'm gonna be reviewing the lyrics from it and seeing if it fits. Let's get on with it. So the first line in the song is this could be representing. This could be just representing how they always do the royalty prayer tables they always do. Here's a clip if you don't know what I'm talking about. Hi, so it's me in the future, because I want to let you guys know that I couldn't really find the exact clip that I wanted. So I found a clip from an edit video someone made to the song Tolerate It with Princess Diana and King Charles, and they used the clip that I was talking about, so that's why there's like writing on the clip, if you know what I mean. So here's that clip. And not only, I didn't put this in the video, but not only could she be referencing that, but there's also a scene in The Crown that kind of shows Diana in a pool, and she's watching Charles read with his head low, trying to pretend that he's not looking at her. And here's that clip. Okay, thank you. Back to past me. And the next line is basically just they could be representing, I don't know, like she waking up before him and him like still sleeping, and she's chilling there, she's watching him while he's breathing and sleeping. Kind of creepy, but like they were married, so I guess it's okay. And then the next line is just which of course is like the same thing. I notice everything you do or don't do. And this is where Taylor Swift is always very like sneaky when it comes to her lyric making, because she knows everything that you do, including Diana basically treasuring every time that they had a good moment together. That could be something as simple as him opening the doors for her, him complimenting her, him doing something so sweet and just like the bare minimum of stuff that like any married couple should be doing to each other. But also notice some things that you don't do. Like I very much heard that after Diana and Charles' son was born, he just fled. He didn't have the courtesy to stay there with his son. He didn't have the courtesy to stay. He left. He just went to go play poker with his friends while Diana had to care for a new prince. Not just a new prince, just a newborn in general. So she noticed when he didn't do that, which was of course the bare minimum. You're so much older and wiser and and that is just true. Prince Charles is definitely older than Princess Diana. So I just looked it up to be 100% sure because I didn't want to give out false information. But yes, they are 12 years apart in age. To be honest, I thought it was much more than that. So, that's good, I think. And I feel like that definitely kind of plays a part in it, how Charles was basically, he was older, he was more mature, he was actually born into royalty, and Diana wasn't. So I felt like she definitely felt like an outsider in her own kingdom and in her own marriage. And I do feel like she kind of had to follow into Charles's footsteps a lot of the time, even when she did not want to. So I feel like that definitely could represent that part of her marriage. And again, Taylor Swift is the mastermind, no pun intended, when it comes to lyricism. And yeah, I definitely feel like this is a metaphor. And it definitely could play in a metaphor when it comes to Princess Diana and Prince King Charles. That just screams royal family. That screams it. I feel like that could also be like a good representation when it comes to Princess Meghan Markle. I feel like that also could kind of represent her too, because I feel like both, mostly Diana, since we're talking about this, Diana probably is almost like, it's not like she's like mocking the royal family when it comes to that, saying lay at the table with the fancy shit, saying that she doesn't appreciate it, she doesn't understand it, she is, again, very much an outsider to this whole situation, and it definitely shows. She feels like an outsider in the royal family and in her very own marriage. This could also be because King Charles could definitely be a gaslighter. I don't know that much about it, I don't know the whole situation, but he definitely could be a gaslighter, and I feel like he definitely probably was a lot to her, especially because I feel like she felt like she was overreacting when she kind of found out that Charles was having an affair, and of course maybe he was like, no, nothing's wrong, it's all in your head. I rest my case. This is perfect. Perfect. I can't picture anyone else in my head when I think of that line. The fact that she says, I know my love should be celebrated. Her love should have been celebrated. She was freaking married to the future king. And everyone loved Diana. Everyone wanted them together. Everyone wanted her to become queen. But that's why she says that she wanted to be the queen of people's hearts, not the queen of London.
Do you think you'll ever be queen?
No, I don't. No.
Why do you think that?
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts. But I don't see myself being queen of this country.
So her love definitely should have been celebrated. It should have been celebrated by herself, by everyone else. But no, she had to watch it as they both tolerated it. They both had to suck it up and do what they had to do for the royal family. Yeah. So it is true that Charles did serve in the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy from the years 1971 to 1976. And he actually met Diana in 1981. But I do think that it did represent, for she says, I welcome you with the Army Heroes Welcome. Because I felt like she tried so hard to kind of make him feel appreciated, even though she didn't feel appreciated. I also heard that she wore flats all the time when she was married to Charles because she didn't want him to feel bad about himself. Literal queen. Like, literal queen. Because she felt bad because she was taller than him. Or at least with heels, she was taller than him. So she just wore flats because she didn't want to destroy his ego. Queen. So to break that down a little bit more, I wanted to really define the word indiscretions. So according to Google, it says indiscretions is behavior or speech that is... So according to Google, it says indiscretion is a behavior or speech that is indiscreet or displays a lack of good judgment. And look, I'm not here to tell you whether to like or not like Charles. Not here to tell you that. I'm just telling you based on stuff that I've heard through the media, or of course what I heard from the Crown, or whatever. But I did hear that he did fat shame her quite a bit. There was times where he kind of grabbed her butt and then kind of complained that it wasn't small enough or something. Again, I don't know the exact place where I heard this from, but I did hear it online. And I think I heard people mentioning it. I don't know. Again, it could be fake. But if it is, then I feel like he definitely, because there are some scenes in The Crown where he was very verbally abusive towards her. But again, it's a show, so that could have been how they played it out or something. But geez. Geez Louise. So again, this is probably kind of even though they were royalty, there wasn't much dish cleaning, I'm guessing, kind of going on there. But again, a metaphor. How she felt like she had to make everything so perfect and she basically had to do everything that he wasn't doing in their relationship in order to make it work, even though it ended up not working at the end, because she basically had to sit and listen as she did all the work while hearing it all go down from her ears. So we are entering the bridge, everyone's favorite part. And again, this basically, Taylor mentioned that this whole song was about a marriage, about one guy who wasn't putting any effort into the relationship whatsoever. And she was doing all the effort, pretty much. And that's basically what the line means. Is when you were out building other worlds, where was I? Hello, he left freaking his son, his newborn son, with his wife so he could go play poker with the buddies. I'm sorry. What? That's what that means, if you ever ask me. We all know that Charles and Diana were in love at one point. They definitely were. I could tell. Based on things we saw, I feel like Diana genuinely did love Charles. And I feel like, in a way, Charles did love Diana. He wasn't in love with her. He loved Camilla definitely much more. But he didn't know how to act it. He didn't know what to do. He felt trapped in his own relationship. So did she. But I feel like she genuinely did love him. And she missed the man that he was when they first got married. And of course when they first met. Sad. She bent over backwards for him. She did everything for him. Did he do the same for her? Begging for footnotes in the story of your life. Begging for the footnotes. Begging for the footnotes. I feel like that's how the relationship really was. Just a lot of begging. But I'm gonna do some more research on this one. So I wanted to be more precise when it came to this one. So just for better judgment, I looked up the definition of footnotes to see exactly what it means. And it basically just says a piece of information printed at the bottom of a page. Now listen, I may not be a smart person. I'm not the smartest woman there is. But hear me out. Let's say this means she's looking, again, for things that he didn't do. And she knows it's very small. Let's say this is a story, okay? This is a storybook. Let's say this is the story of Charles's life. This is his whole life, when he was in the war, when he was born, when he met freaking Princess Diana, when Princess Diana died. All this is in this story. And Princess Diana is reading this story, looking through the life, seeing if she made it into this book, to see if she was important enough to be in this book. Does she think she's important enough? I don't know. Check the book. So she's looking into the book, and then she's like, okay, I don't think I'm in this book. Let me look at the footnotes of this book. Which, of course, like the definition says, is a tiny imprint of information at the bottom of a page. That usually isn't really that important. It's just a bit more information. So she's so desperate to see if she's actually a big part in Charles's life to see if she made it into his story. So she checks. Is she there? Is she not? I don't know, the song didn't really say. But to make this more emotional, let's just say that she wasn't. She wasn't. She wasn't a important part of Charles' life. And she definitely feels it. Thank you for coming to my Taylor Swift lyric TED Talk. And this one is basically just self-explanatory. She does feel like she's taking up too much space and time. She felt like she's not needed. She felt like she was humiliated. She felt like she is not wanted in this relationship. She feels like she's getting in the way. She's getting in the way of their relationship. She feels it. She knows it. I mean, we probably know context clues. Charles probably didn't really care to ask if Diana was fine, especially because I heard from a few sources that she was so desperate for Charles' attention that she literally threatened to throw herself down a flight of stairs so he had to notice her. While she was pregnant, may I ask. And so she actually did it. She threw herself down a flight of stairs while she was pregnant. And did Charles do anything? No. According to sources, he didn't. I don't know who told this story, but that's what I heard apparently. Like, why? Like, why? Like, seriously, what would Charles do? She breaks free. She just completely breaks free and leaves everyone in ruins. You know that he won't be happy. But, will he though? It's one of those weird things. Like, it sounds like it's bad. Like, what would you do if I ruin and break the ruins? Like, I feel like that's why there's always conspiracy theory that Charles has something to do with Diana's death. Lots of people think that. And I'm not one to say if I agree or disagree on that statement. But it is kind of interesting to think about when it comes to this context. He had to get Diana out of the way. It's almost like she died too coincidentally, because he wasn't really allowed to marry anyone else because of this whole thing going on. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky situation. I kind of wish Charles would have just married Camilla in the beginning and leave Diana out of it. Dagger, Diana. He stabbed the dagger into her and then removed it. And then she had to act like she was fine, basically insinuating that he hurt her. I'm not talking about physically, but mentally and verbally, he abused her. These are all just theories, not saying this actually happened, but based on what we've seen online. Online does not make Charles seem like a good guy. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Now, I know this means a different way when it says, like, I know what it actually means when it says, like, gain the weight of you, then lose it. Obviously, it means that she had to carry his weight of, like, resentment, of anger, of angst. But then after it's all over, she definitely lost it. And a part of her probably got lost as well. My voice is disappearing. But I also feel like it's interesting too because it's also talking about gaining weight, and Diana did become an anorexic during her marriage with Charles, and I feel like he definitely played a part in it because he did comment on her weight a lot, and she did feel like she had to lose the weight because he wasn't happy with it. He wasn't happy with a lot of things apparently when it came to her. Tell me I got it wrong somehow. I know my love should be celebrated, but you tolerate it. Well, it seems like we reached the end. I feel like this song just represents their story so much because we didn't know that she wrote a lot of Evermore folklore during quarantine, and she basically did admit that she wrote lots of the songs because of movies and shows that she'd seen. Who knows? Maybe Miss Swift watched The Crown and she decided to, do something with that. She decided to write Tolerate It based on their relationship It just fits so perfectly. So perfectly. I mean, if she comes out and says it's not about them, I would never be able to think differently. Every time I listen to this song, I just think about their relationship. Like, it's crazy to me. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, I feel like this was a fun analysis. I know I can't really play that much clips from this song because I can't get too copyrighted. I already got copyright striked so many times. Well, claimed really, not striked. And I don't want that to happen again because, like, it's kind of scary and I don't like it. I already know don't get as many views as, like, normal, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess I'll see you around in my next one. Bye.